Welcome back to the Truth Channel. This is my dorm room. It's not usually this clean. I definitely cleaned it for this video. We're in this room right now, but you won't probably be seeing much more of it because announcement, we're going mostly podcast, so stay tuned for that. I'll still be posting videos on the YouTube, but they will only be videos like this one that require visuals. Honestly, I don't really know why I'm doing this. God just told me to, so I'm being obedient and being faithful that it's gonna make sense in the future. So yeah, that's what's coming up, is we are going podcast only, and then still stay subscribed to the YouTube because there will be special videos there, more fun ones probably like this one. Today, I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about or like what to call it yet, so I guess we'll see by the time I'm done with this video. This past 9 months, I have been home from like January to September. And so during this time, I kind of got to get back into doing videography as a job. Videography as like just kind of fun is completely different. And so, yeah, it had been like 2 years since I had done videography in that way. And as I started to do it, I realized, I'm actually I don't know how to do video. I'm not a videographer. And that might sound like super weird to some of you guys, but I think it's something that probably a lot of people encounter at some point in their like videography, music, whatever career. Is like you can have the basic gifting, but like past the basic gifting, like when it comes to the technical skills, you're really lacking. And maybe that's not relatable. Maybe I'm the only one, but that happened to me. So what I found out is like, I wasn't technically skilled in videography. When it came to things like sound design, didn't know how to do that. Transitions, fancy transitions, I can maybe swing that. In-camera transitions, nope. Planning shots, making sure my lighting was good, how to set up good lighting, how to set up color, how to work color, still working on that. Just things like that. What is actually happening in my camera when I'm shooting? Like, what is the science behind it all? So I can actually understand the tools I'm using to the fullest rather than, oh, I know that when I press this button, stuff happens and then it gets this and then this happens and now I have a video. So I didn't know anything. I'm still like in a process of learning, but that's the kind of stuff that I really wanted to understand because I want to be able to use the gift that God has given me to its fullest potential. And furthermore, I just think it's like a way to honor God and the fact that He's given me this gift, and the more I can do with it, the more He can use me through it, right? Like if I can't do sound design, well, there goes all these videos that He wants to do through me that include sound design or whatever it is. And so I just think that like becoming technically trained past the level of like natural gifting that He's already given to me or to you is so important, and it honors Him in the gifts that He has given us. So anyways, God was so gracious and right away gave me an opportunity to actually grow in all of these technical skills, because right around this time, actually literally at this time, I got the biggest gig I've ever gotten ever in January with working with Kappa Alpha Theta, a sorority. And they called me and they're like, hey Lindsay, like, can you do our recruitment video for this year? And I said no at first. Like I told my friend, I was like, I think that's too much for me. Like I'm actually not a good videographer, like all this stuff. I knew the videographer who had made it previously for them, and like he's super talented, super good. And I was like, I can't like compete with this. Like they're gonna hate my video. And so yeah, I was very hesitant to take the job. And then I did, clearly, if you guys saw. But if you haven't, I'm gonna show some clips throughout this video of like kind of how I edited it and stuff like that. But anyways, so I took the gig, and y'all, it challenged me so much. And if any Thetas out there are watching this, you're gonna get a little behind the scenes of what was going on in my mind when I was shooting for you. So that's kind of fun. So I'm just gonna start and like give you what my normal editing style, how I edit, how I usually produce. My normal process is like, I'll just take my camera wherever I'm going and I'll start shooting. Nothing in mind, no plan, no song, and I'll just shoot what's around me. And then I come home and I kind of sift through the video and I'm like, okay, like what do I have? cool, I see kind of like the vibe I got going, and then I find a song, and then I take the footage and I start like building out a story according to the song and, you know, the footage that I have. And whatever happens, happens. A good example of this would be the pool one I shot this summer. I just had my camera out and I was like, let's do some fun stuff and see what we get. And then I had the funny clips of my cousin Adam being like a frat boy, and I was like, ooh, like we can switch up the mood here and like make it funny. And I had funny commentary.
Has arrived in some sort of drink. Oh, it's just water today. He must be recovering from a hardcore hangover.
Frat boy taking on his first shot of the day. Not shots of alcohol, ladies. The basketball. Oh, and he misses. All right, we're just gonna turn this camera off now. And that's just like what it turned out to be. I didn't plan it at all. I just kind of like threw it together in post. And also usually with those kind of videos, like I'm editing a lot to the song. Like the song is gonna determine pretty much the whole video. So it takes me like 2 hours usually just to find a song that I want to use for this video or for the videos that I'm working on. And I would say that is one of the hardest parts, is finding the song. So that's the kind of shooting I'm used to doing. Then I step in to this theta gig and I'm like so unprepared. Like suddenly every single thing about my process has to look different, because suddenly now I had to plan shoots, I had to plan shots, I had to plan transitions, I had to plan songs. It was so different and I was not used to being this planned out. And it really challenged me because I was like, oh my gosh. And this is where it really set in of like, I don't know how to be organized in my process. I'll show you in this little journal kind of what it looked like, and it was very chaotic because like I said, I had never done it before. So here's the outline of the theta shoot and kind of what it looks like. It looks like legit chaos, but that is like, it makes total sense to me. And so for this video specifically, I started here. I started with just like drawing out everything that was going to happen, from the transitions to the sections to B-roll. I have walking in the door and a little smiley face to show like, okay, we're going to get someone's like close-up face. So yeah, I started with the outline, and then the second thing I did was I was like, okay, I need to know what songs I'm editing to. So I went through and I chose all the songs, and that took like 4 hours. And then I made an outline. I was like, okay, we need it to run like 4 to 5 minutes. So I had it there, and I cut all the music, and then I put markers where these specific shots were going to go. And so when I would get to these shoots, it was so funny because I was really challenging myself. I was shooting for things that I didn't even know how to edit. So for example, the Polaroid picture idea. So I had it in my head like, okay, these girls, in order to show that they're in theta and they're normal girls, but also like do these really cool things on the side, we're gonna show them in their normal outfits outside of theta, and then they're gonna be holding this Polaroid picture of those same girls, but in their like, whatever specialty they do, and it's gonna zoom in to them doing those things. So I have this in my mind, but I'm like, I have no idea how to edit that. And so I'm shooting for these things that I know kind of how I should shoot. It's like zooming in and zooming out, but I actually don't know how to edit it. So on the side, in my free time, I'm like watching all these like how-to YouTube tutorials on how to do swipe transition, zoom, like everything. Also on the side, I'm doing like mini side shoots in order to like practice these things, these editing techniques and stuff, just to make sure like I'll actually be able to pull it off. So I did a little fourth shoot, and I never did anything with the footage really, except for I practiced a mask transition in a loop. And that video, it's what I think max 10, no, I think it's like 5 seconds long, but it took me like probably 8 hours to edit because it was all new to me, and I was learning, okay, how do I get the flag to go across the screen and it to drag across the other shot? How do I loop it so it's super smooth? Literally did nothing with that footage except for like learn how to do these transitions so that I could be confident that like, hey, I know how to do this and I'll be able to pull it off in the big theta video, right? So I was shooting and then learning and then applying what I learned right away. And again, a lot of those things that I learned, it was just YouTube. This is something, I get a lot of questions about this actually. It's like, oh, when did you start doing video? How did you learn to edit? Guys, I just use YouTube. And I started editing when I was in like 4th grade. And I had my mom's laptop, and whenever I came across it, like, I don't know how to do this, I'd YouTube it. And then, okay, now I learned that skill. And then I'm editing. Oh, I don't know how to do this. YouTube it. Okay, now I know this skill. Editing. Oh, I don't know how to do this. You know, and you just like build on top of your knowledge, and suddenly now you know a lot. It just kind of like over time. So it is a process. But my encouragement to anybody out there that is like trying to start video is to literally just get out and do it. And then when you come across something you don't know how, ask a friend, go to YouTube. YouTube is literally your best teacher. So yeah, that's how I learned, and that's how I'm continuing to learn. And what I have on my YouTube is like a playlist. I just add videos. I'm like, okay, I've watched these, or I want to watch these, and they're how-to tutorials. So I will actually make that public. So if anyone wants to go on there and just watch videos that I've used in the past or that I want to watch in the future, you can have access to that. None of them are my videos, but they are the sources that I use to learn for myself. So anyways, back to the theta video. Sometimes I was shooting for things I didn't even know how to edit yet. I remember I bought equipment during this 7 months, and I was FaceTiming my friend, literally like teaching me how to use it for the shoot the next day. And so it was just like a huge learning curve, you know, learning how to plan. What does it look like to actually put on a shoot? That was hard. Like I remember the first shoot I went to, like I showed up and I was just like, oh wait, I have to stage them and I have to kind of like know what I'm shooting. And suddenly it was like, I can't just show up to shoots anymore. Like that's what I'm used to doing, is like bringing my camera and like whatever happens, happens. But no, now I have these girls showing up expecting me to kind of direct them as the one that's filming and kind of be like, okay, I need you to do this. So that taught me a lot. I was like, no, I need to like be preparing and have like prep time before I go to these shoots. So I know in my head, like I need to make sure that I'm getting one nurse girl close up when I'm walking towards her. Or I need to make sure that I'm getting a wide shot and then an up close shot. So it was just a lot of learning in a short amount of time, but we pulled it off. And honestly, like when it came to post-production or editing, it was so much easier because I had planned so much on the back end. But then it was really cool to see all these technical skills that I was learning in order to do commercial work or client work, were also translating into my like creative, just like me doing fun video work. For example, in the Mount Sinai video, I just released that a couple weeks ago, the sound design that I was using.
The sun is out.
And it really enhanced the video, in my opinion. And another one it helped me in was I did a wedding shoot in the beginning of September. And I remember feeling so much more prepared and just being like, oh yeah, I know how to like work with clients now and how to make someone feel comfortable in front of the camera, because that's a whole nother thing. Like it's something I feel awkward doing. Yes, like I can sit here alone in my room and talk to a camera, but like when other people have the camera in your face, it's the most uncomfortable feeling. And so like learning how do I make them feel as comfortable as I can in front of my camera, in front of my lens, in front of me, because you know, essentially like I'm the person watching them do whatever they're doing. So you know, all those skills that I was learning with theta have really been translating into every other form of video work that I do, even if it's just like a creative video. Now that I'm through that little quick season of learning, I'm still learning. I still feel like I don't know a lot when it comes to cameras and when it comes to color grading. Like that's something I'm trying to get better at. There's just so many things. There's always room to learn. But as I'm sitting in my college dorm, you're probably wondering like what I'm studying, and your first guess might be film, but no, it's actually not. I want to make a point of this too. I think that I personally am not going to school for film because one, I don't want to be in the industry, and usually that's what a film major will prepare you for, is to enter into the film industry. That's not what I want to do. So when it comes to like just videography and kind of like the kind of stuff I'm doing, everything about filming, anything creative really, is about your portfolio and like, okay, what can you do? Like show me what you've done in the past. Can you actually do it? Because you could go to a 4-year university and still not know how to put together a good looking video. People don't want to see a degree, they want to see your work, and they'll hire you for your work and your style. And so personally, I don't necessarily feel like it's the most necessary for me to go to a college and get a degree in film when I can just show someone my portfolio and get a degree in something else that you might need a degree in to get a job, right? Now I'm kind of in the process of like defining who I am as like my own individual video creator, you know? With the theta video, honestly, it was just me kind of proving to myself that I could make what is technically considered good in like the videography world, because there's definitely a style right now, and if you do video at all, you kind of know it. It's those transitions where it's like whoosh transitions and you're zooming in or you're pulling out or you're swiping or everything. Like, it's all about the transitions, smooth transitions. And transitions are hard to make. Those are the things that I spent probably the most time, those are the things I spent the most time on. But that is the style right now. And then there's sound design, and it's a lot of like speed ramping with like going fast, slow, fast, you know, like stuff like that. And that is kind of what the videography world looks like right now. And so to me, I was like, can I even make it and produce a video like that? I don't even know. Like, those are really good videographers putting that kind of content out. I'm not good enough. And so this data video really challenged me because I knew that that's probably the kind of video they wanted, especially looking at the previous video that my good friend made that was amazing. It was very technically good. And so I wanted to also meet that standard and be technically good as well, but I didn't think I could. And so this was kind of like proving, okay, I can mimic what the industry, not really the industry, but just like the videography world is doing right now. I can do that. And now it's like, okay, I can do that, but now who am I? Who am I as a videographer and as a video creator? Like, what's my personal style? It's really easy to mimic a shot and to just see something and then recreate it. You know, that takes no creativity. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of in this process of like, what do I like? And I think kind of what I'm finding is the closest videos I have to like what I would consider my personal style to be is like the 2019 video, the in-between video. Oh, and the Europe video, it's on my Instagram and it's on my YouTube. Or the Mount Sinai video, again, shots of people and emotion and also underlying that with like a message. That's probably the closest thing to my style that I have found. And I'm just kind of praying through that with God because I believe that God has created each of us uniquely with a unique way of like how we see the world. And if we're just out here trying to mimic each other, like we're seriously like doing ourselves a disservice in the amount and the variety of messages and content that we could create. Yeah, so these next couple weeks, I really kind of want to just keep it centered on creative things, specifically video. So if you're into that, stay tuned for the next 2 weeks, I think is what I have it blocked out for. I'm going to be bringing people on that edit differently and that do things differently so we can hear, you know, like my way isn't the only way. So again, if you're into that, come back for the next 2 weeks and we'll have that. That's me. That's my editing style. And I guess that's the name of this video too, is my editing style and my creative process. I have no idea, but yeah, that's all.